The boy ate in the cafeteria, but only had plain white rice, because he was a kid from the countryside. His family was so poor they couldn't even afford notebooks, so he never turned in homework. The teacher decided to test him on math formulas, and his answers were perfect. The teacher was shocked by his responses, and after school he kept Willie behind, and gave him a test paper to complete. Willie finished quickly. The teacher discovered he had actually scored a perfect score. He decided to properly train this math genius. The teacher wanted Willie to compete in the city contest, but Willie didn't want to go, because he needed to help with work at home. The teacher was furious when he discovered Willie skipped class. The teacher then had the truant students help Willie weed the garden. The teacher taught him math while working. They wanted to ride into town on the pumpkin selling truck. For this purpose, the teacher even bought a pumpkin. Willie finally arrived at the exam site, but the teacher blocked him at the door, because he was already late. When the chief proctor heard what happened, he let Willie answer the questions outside the exam room. Willie successfully earned a perfect score, and although they couldn't accept his paper this time, the chief encouraged him to enter the world math competition next year. The high school entrance exam was coming up, and Willie's stepfather wanted him to learn a trade, so he could help the family sooner. The teacher went to their home to persuade his stepfather, but the stepfather shut the door right in his face. So the teacher secretly took Willie to the exam, and even helped him apply to an elite high school. Willie scored well and got in, but the family simply couldn't afford the tuition, so Grandpa cut down his tree to sell for money. Willie also went to work in a factory, but the teacher told him to focus on studying, and took his place at the job. But in the end, the family couldn't even gather half the tuition. The teacher went home and discussed it with his wife, and they decided to lend all their savings to Willie. But sensible Willie didn't want to go. Grandpa forbade him from ever saying such things again, but in the middle of hitting him, he broke down crying, and the two of them ended up crying in each other's arms. Soon the first day of school arrived, and Willie put on the clean clothes he only wore during festivals. His mother didn't say a word. She silently wiped his new leather shoes with tears in her eyes. Willie climbed onto the pumpkin seller's truck, and his mother watched him leave until he disappeared. From then on, Willie studied with extreme dedication. Even though he didn't understand English or computers at all, he borrowed a classmate's tape player at night to study English. Then he exchanged his meal tickets for cash, and spent every day in the computer lab learning, and soon he could build websites on his own. But one day, while doing a part-time job, he accidentally broke a client's fish tank. Unable to afford compensation, he chose to return home, but his parents didn't blame him, and his teacher quietly stayed by his side. That day, he received an invitation to the World Math Competition, but this time he refused to go. His stepfather knew Willie didn't want to burden the family, so he jumped into a vat of lime, and said if Willie didn't go compete, he would burn his own legs. Only then did Willie finally agree. The teacher stood at the village entrance to see him off, and he once again set out alone on the road out of the village. In the end, Willie won the World Math Competition Championship, and the teacher went door to door telling everyone the news. Soon after, Willie returned to the village, and the village chief held a celebration for him. Willie spotted the teacher in the crowd. He was so happy he shed tears.